Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Curiosity and Consciousness podcast. It is me, Karen Maloney. I am back, and as always, I am on video now as well on YouTube in case anyone wishes to watch from YouTube. And as always, a lot of life has been lifing and a lot going on. But I met a friend recently for a walk, and this question came up again. And it's funny actually, because I recorded a podcast on this topic, oh, must be last year sometime now, but I actually never published it. I don't know why at the time. I think I might have had a few others and then I didn't. So I believe in a divine timing to everything as well. But it's something that has been coming up, something that I think about all the time. Not all the time, not as much, but certainly when I do think about it again, I am kind of mind blown in my own personal transformation and how much I have shifted and changed. And again, nobody truly knows that except me. I mean, yes, on one sense, people can see that I'm more confident or brighter, literally look brighter in my skin and my eyes, my hair, my energy, like present, regulated, all these different things. But truly, nobody truly knows, like I've touched on before, what's going on inside of anyone. And inside is what creates our whole entire life. That's why I call myself an inside out coach. It's where everything has to start, all change, because it is our inside, it is our internal world, it is our subconscious mind that is creating the external. It's where it all stems from. The external is like a mirror, it's like a hologram where we get to see part of ourselves. It's not a direct reflection. It's like a puzzle, a jigsaw piece that we have to figure out sometimes. But that's the only way we can see ourselves is through experiences, is through feedback, is through what people share with us. We can learn and expand and heal and grow and dissolve a limiting belief, an old story, something we've outgrown. We have a choice point always of, do I want to keep this? Do I want to let this go? Is this serving me? Is this holding me back? Is this the person I want to become? Is this an old identity that I'm outgrowing? So that's the beauty of the inner journey. But the question that perplexed me for a long time and was a big catalyst in my own journey and in that inner peace and getting that aligned, congruent, transparent for myself was, who are you when no one is watching? Who are you when nobody is watching? And I think that really, really, really reveals a lot about ourselves, because we can be one thing in the world and we can appear, and certainly all of my friends would have said back in the day that I was uber confident and certain of myself and in my choices, and nobody would kind of second guess me or cross me or doubt me because I just had this sense of conviction and I had a very cutting tongue that nobody wanted to cross. And yes, that's true. I had some confidence, but actually, it's really not the truth. That was coming from a wounded place. That was a defense mechanism because truly, 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 back in those days when I was with myself, I felt the complete opposite. I felt so terrified. I was frozen by life. I was filled with so much doubt, self-hatred, anxiety. Like I really, really, really did not think well of myself. I did not think highly of myself. I did not think I was good enough. I was terrified of other people's opinions of me or other people thinking I wasn't a good person and all these kind of things, which again, I was aware of, but not aware of. Like it was just normal as these things are. I didn't have this awareness or this perspective to, or knowledge about the nervous system and subconscious mind and limiting beliefs and patterns and programs. It was just my normal. But I know as I certainly got older, I did feel like I was two different people, or like there was two different identities going on, or the way I describe it, really, I felt a lot of inner conflict. They were the words for me. It was inner conflict. It was like I could be so loving and kind and compassionate and caring and funny and confident when I especially was around friends and out in the world. But then when I was by myself and especially around family, God love our families, they get the hardest, rawest part sometimes. But when I used to be around my family, I was like, oh my God, when I think back to that version of me, I was just, and I didn't know why I was doing it. And I felt really bad sometimes, especially with my mother. I would just snap. I would be so moody. I was so defensive. Like I could not have a conversation. I literally, now I can look back and be like, I did not have the emotional intelligence or emotional bandwidth to be responsive. It was all reactive. It was all defensive. It was so much anger and pain, but I didn't know why I was being that way. And that's why I say, like, I had so much inner conflict. So, this question of who are you when nobody was watching, when nobody was around me, this is how I felt all the time. This is who I lived with. Because again, we live with ourselves 24/7. We can't escape ourselves. We can't outrun ourselves. We can try avoid and numb out and deny and all these things, but eventually we have to face ourselves. And like that. And I felt really low and not happy and kind of left out and forgotten about because, again, this kind of black sheep mentality of not being feeling different to everyone. But even like that on a level of not treating myself very kindly, not exercising, not feeding myself well, quite the opposite sometimes, like binge eating and just very, very low and moody and not good enough and full of doubt. So, this question of, well, it was a catalyst at one stage going back a long time ago now, but beginning to close that gap because that person and that version of me who I was, like confident, loving, funny, carefree, compassionate with my friends, was also part of me. Like that wasn't fake. And actually, I would say that actually was the truest part of me always. But there was so much inner pain and wounding and trauma, like literally unresolved trauma, and that survival frozen feeling in my nervous system that I wasn't aware of, that I couldn't hold that frequency all the time. I couldn't be my true self all the time because there was so much noise and distortion and this low level, low emotional feelings, which again stems back to trauma and unresolved emotions in our nervous system, which we all have on some level. So once, and it's been a journey, like it didn't just happen overnight, but I can look back now and see all that inner work I've been doing, all the retreats, all the rewiring and limiting beliefs, all the emotional regulation, all the nervous system regulation, all the shifting of habits and becoming more aligned and looking after myself and healthy and feeding myself, nourishing myself, hydrating myself in correct ways. All of it was closing this gap that now, like, there is no inner conflict. Like, yes, I have moments of doubt and fear or whatever, but it's like you just get to be yourself. I no longer have to second guess how I need to show up, how I need to perform, how I need to act, what I should say, what I shouldn't say. I'm just me. It's just like we cannot be anyone else. The circumstances don't dictate how I am or who I am. I just am who I am. And that is the greatest gift we can give the world. Again, I'm not saying I'm perfect and I have it all figured out. No, I'm inviting you into this curiosity, into this question, into this inner exploration within yourself of, is there congruency? Is there alignment? When nobody is watching, what are you doing? Are you feeling down and out like a slob? Drinking too much, eating too much, watching back-to-back movies, like hating on yourself, thinking everyone else is better, has it all figured out? Or are you in alignment? Are you the person that the world sees? Are you happy and confident and compassionate and kind and generous and all these things when you're with the world? And that gap is it's not a bad thing either, because I believe we all have it. It's part of the human predicament. Like nobody, well, we're all born perfect. We are perfect. That essence of who we are never goes anywhere, but it is certainly dimmed and it is covered by the conditioning of life and situations and experiences and limiting beliefs and stories. That's the only thing that blocks us from the truth of who we are always and forever. That truth is always there, but how bright it is shining or not is just our character, our ego based off of our story, but that's all changeable. None of that is fixed. That is just the avatar that we are playing, the defense mechanisms, the programs we learn to protect ourselves, I believe a lot of the times in order to move through the world. But once we start to heal some of those, again, this gap closes because it's not a bad thing, the gap. I believe it's an invitation. It's where we can expand into to close that gap, because when we have that gap and that inner conflict, like again, going back to me, when I felt so much inner conflict and like so much awkwardness and didn't know kind of where I fit and all of these different things, it's you can't hold yourself. Like you can't back yourself fully. You can't love yourself fully. You can't play full out in your own life. You can't go after your desires with unshakable confidence because you don't have that inner congruency and alignment. And when we don't have that, life, society, the opinions of other people will take us out. And we did not come here to live the life someone else expects us to live. That's not how it works. That is not the most genuine way we can show up. We are here to live our life true to ourselves and the spirit, the consciousness, the energy that is moving through us. We co create with spirit. And people can misconstrue that, going, oh, then you're egotistical, you think you're better, you walk all over other people, you disrespect other people because it's just about you and your life. No. When you come into alignment with your higher truth and you heal all of that incongruency within yourself and all that ickiness and that darkness and those fears and shame and all these lower vibration emotions that just make you feel funky, nobody else. When you heal that and it is clear and you are just a direct, conscious, pure channel for light, you're actually not attached. You're like, if someone wants to do something totally different, cool. If someone thinks you're crazy or your idea or your way of looking at the world or whatever you're doing or sharing is insane, you're like, cool. There is a level of love, of compassion, of acceptance, of oneness that comes when we do this work because we are all one. But when we have this inner gap and conflict, we can't see that we are one. We just see separateness. And we see our limiting stories and our beliefs, and we try to pitch things against each other. And that is not what we came here for. That gap keeps you playing small. That gap keeps you in fear. That gap keeps you hiding. And we are all here for a reason. We have all been gifted this temporary experience called life. We've been gifted a body to have this wild experience called life where we can literally experience anything. But it comes down to our own beliefs and perception and getting that transparency and clarity aligned within ourselves first and foremost. And that is our responsibility to ourselves. And it takes radical responsibility. No one or no thing can do it for us. And again, that gap is an invitation. And it's been really beautiful. When you lean in, when you look at it as an invitation, when you begin to clear that conflict for yourself and close that gap, life becomes so much easier. Because let me tell you, having all that inner conflict, feeling this huge gap, feeling like two different people and not knowing what the fuck was going on or who I was meant to be or what was meant to happen, it was exhausting. It was absolutely life-sucking exhausting. And I know if you're in that gap, you know what that feels like. Whereas actually being yourself, not having to overthink, second guess, worry what other people will think about you, it is so liberating. All of that energy that was used to hide and edit and mold and shut down and try to be perfect and good and fit the box and oh my God, not be outcasted and all these different things, it is so stifling that when you have liberated that within yourself, it's actually liberated. So you have energy for creation, for your desires, for love, for compassion, for kindness. And it's literally life changing. And now I laugh sometimes because I still ask myself this question sometimes, like, who are you when nobody's watching? And now who I am when nobody's watching, like, yeah, I'm just such a different person. This is why I do what I do as well. And I'm the example of transformation being possible for everyone and anyone because I am no different to any single human out there. I've just made different choices. I've sat myself down. I've sat with my own uncomfortableness, my own shame, my own pain, my own everything to liberate it. And when you do that, and now when I ask myself that question, who am I when nobody's watching? And I catch myself sometimes, I'm like, wow, I am so proud of me. Because at the end of the day, you're doing it for you. How you feel on the inside, you feel 24/7. You live with 24/7. It's never for an outcome. We don't do the work and change for something. We do it for ourselves first and foremost. Then the different experiences or people or opportunities or new groups or tribe or whatever come in as confirmation of the work we have done, but we do it for ourselves first and foremost. And now I actually laugh, going, oh my God, if people could see some of the things that I do when nobody's watching, they would probably think I was insane because I'm like meditation at 4 a.m. because I just freaking love it and healthy eating and working out and, doing it for me anyway. And again, people may see it as torturous. I'm not doing a tick list. It's not regimented. It's just who I am. It's just what lights me up. It's what I love to do. And with or without anyone or anything else in my life, I've got me. So I am going to make my inner world, my life, my choices the most amazing, the most incredible, the most uplifting, the most blissful, euphoric choices that I can make because that's my power. Because actually, I don't need to wait for anything outside of me to give me those experiences. And that's the ultimate, I don't like the word hack, but that's the ultimate alchemy of life. That's what Dr. Joe Dispenza calls cause and effect. You don't have to wait for a cause on the outside to create an effect inside of you, which most people are living in that waiting. They're waiting for the job, the relationship, the retirement, the house, the money, the funds, the whatever, to feel the love, the joy, the acceptance, the approval, the whatever. Whereas we feel them first because that is our power. We can feel anything we wish to feel at the drop of a hat. We feel it first and it causes an effect. But it's actually not about the thing. That's like the bonus. The real gold is doing it for ourselves anyway because of the pure pleasure of doing it and feeling these things for ourselves because we live with ourselves 24/7 anyway. So again, we can stay in the cage or we can jump out. We live in an internal hell or we make it a heaven. It's all just a different state of consciousness. It's all just different perceptions. It's all just our own thinking and stories. But what stories do you want to be telling yourself? What actions do you want to be doing? And again, I just love this question. Who are you when nobody's watching? And if that question makes you feel like, oh God, like me, I used to feel so low and lonely and depressed and like lost and God, it was really low and dark and not good, full of doubt and fear, especially fear of what other people would think. I'm like, that's really not a nice place. Like it wasn't a nice time. Again, I don't regret anything. Everything is for my own information for growth and learning. But having made the choice to be radically responsible and to do it for myself anyway has been the greatest gift. And again, it's what I invite people into always. And again, I'm not going to stop banging on about this hydrogen infused and frequency infused water from Lumavita, because again, it's not about the product, but how they have fundamentally shifted my nervous system, my internal world as well. It's like everything of the work that I've ever done and continue to do, like all of the mindset, the meditation, the exercise, the healthy eating, it all lands, unlocks, integrates, expands, and amplifies everything even more because my body is back in its innate frequency. I call it as well. And I've shared loads about this over the last year. Like in real time, you can watch, listen back to the episodes and you can hear what's happening in real time. But now I see it as well. It's restoring, returning the body or nervous system to the original soul frequency that we came here with as a soul before that initial impact or trauma or wound that then we created the character and the fear and the defense and the survival all stemmed from. And feeling that sovereignty again from like a cellular baseline night and day difference, again, it's everything. There's there's no such thing as coincidence of why these are coming to the world. And they are a very, very, very unique frequency that is about advanced technology, but it's advanced technology that is speaking to the body in a language that it knows to bring the body's advanced technology back online. That's what it's about. So they don't do the work for you. And I've never said they're a cure-all or a panacea or anything, but my whole experience has changed. And it is the most foundational, fundamental thing we can do in the first place. Get our body right, restore that original intelligence and frequency so everything can open, unlock, integrate more. So that's a question I'll leave you with. Explore it if you wish. Don't if you don't want to. You know, you are your own experimenter as well. Don't believe anything I say. Try it for yourself if you're curious. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, fine. But who are you when nobody's watching? And feel free to let me know what pops. Check out my website, karenmaloney.com, or my Instagram at Karen Maloney with an underscore after the Y. And yeah, feel free to reach out and I look forward to seeing you soon. And if you want to know more on these incredible wellness tools in this ecosystem, just send me an email, support@karenmaloney.com. Lots of love. Bye.